Keys, saves, drills, crates, cases, we all have them in our new games, or well, the games that have become popular on Steam as of late. My name is Loki, and today we take a look at the money machine known as the Steam Marketplace. So just very recently, about 5 days ago from recording this, Payday 2, or Overkill depending on how you look at it, has released microtransactions into their game, which their community didn't quite like. Overkill, you might want to look at it. Oh, yeah. All the Payday 2 criticisms to the side, this is a system that is used by more and more games nowadays. Think of a Team Fortress 2, CSGO, H1Z1, and a lot of smaller indie titles that try to really make use of this system. Of course, the main big player so far is certainly CSGO, and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, as CSGO is also known as in case you didn't know, kind of was the front runner with this option, with Team Fortress 2 launching this option in the back of December of 2012, that's almost 3 years ago, and the Arms Deal update of Counter-Strike Global Offensive releasing at the 14th of August 2013. So this system has been running for up at about, 3 years at this point, or 2.5 years depending on how you look at, CSGO really starting the trend. Now I hear you thinking, Loki, you started with crates, saves, and cases. What is this about the Steam Marketplace? We were going to talk about those keys thingies and drills that you now have in Payday 2. Well, without those drills, without those saves, crates, and cases, the Steam Marketplace partly wouldn't exist. You can see this in other indies. Some indies try to use the system and their items end up being about 3 cents and nobody cares about buying them. Whereas every single game that runs with the saves and crates and cases, they get themselves a lot more money. The reason for this comes down to multiple factors. The first one being the crate is often really rare and doesn't listen to regular MMORPG reasoning, where usually if something is rare, you just farm more and try to get more of the crates so you can sell more. Instead, these games go for a system where you can only get a couple of crates a week, a day, a month, and they pretty much keep this supply low while the demand at the start often stays high. If you look at a new CSGO crate, then often, if it's not even locked behind the DLC, because sometimes it's locked behind the DLC, so somebody first has to buy the DLC and then can get the crate, but even if they can instantly get the crate, then usually they only get a certain amount of drops in a week, and actually slows down over time how often they get drops, which pretty much means that at the end of the week, you can maybe have gotten 2 of the new crates if you are lucky, which is insanity, so you can't even farm more. If you look at H1Z1, I think you can get a crate drop once every 8 hours, or even more than that, which maybe for myself, or maybe for some other people who play a lot of games, 8 hours doesn't sound like a lot, but 8 hours of gaming is insanity. 8 hours of gaming to maybe get an item, that's something not a whole lot of people are going to achieve. And even if I'm on like a rabid player of H1Z1 and get a crate after 8 hours, I probably want to buy extra crates because I really want those cool cosmetics since I play the game so much. Now the whole entire time I've been talking about these crates like these crates are the things that we are after, while in fact everyone who's playing the game, who has either bought the game in Payday 2 or in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or is playing the game for free in Team Fortress, obviously looking after the items. That's also the reason why you also get items in Counter-Strike Global Offensive and in H1Z1 and in Team Fortress 2, yet you can't get those skins randomly in Payday 2, which is probably one of the reasons why they are going wrong. Keep in mind, those free skins are not the same skins from the cases, and they are only worth a fraction of what those paid skins are worth. But that actually brings me to the next thing. To open those crates, those items we have just been farming for 24 hours in a row on H1Z1 or whatever we play, we now have to open that crate, and guess how you open that crate? By spending money. More money. Because you have just spent hours on end farming, you got lucky, you got an item, and now you have to go and buy the key for €2.30 or $2.50 or your regional equivalent, which obviously is quite a bunch of money. And this is only sold directly from the publisher. Of course, you can try to buy it from a marketplace, but in the end, the publisher or the developer has already received the money for that key anyway, so paying the developer you will at the end of the day directly for that. Oh, but now we are getting into the good part, the Steam Marketplace, the thing that this video is actually at the end of the day about. $2.50 for the privilege of opening the crate you have already gotten is not enough for the developer. They also want a stake in you maybe selling that crate or having bought that crate, you know, depending on which end of the spectrum you are. Now, if you can somehow justify to yourself that it's worth it to have a 400 euro costing knife, then feel free to donate to me. But until then, keep selling your crates and your knives, although at the same time, you'll be funding the developer even more, because you see, the developer takes money off of each and every sale that happens in the marketplace. This fee, at the time of recording this, is about 12.5%, but let's say 10% for my head, for easy use. Let's say that we sell a crate for 3 euros. This means that 10%, aka 30 cents, goes to the developer, which means that essentially I only get 2.70 € and 30 cents goes to the developer. This is extra money for them. This is extra revenue. They have just created more money out of something that hasn't even been opened yet. You know, this is just a crate, and they've just created money off of a virtual item that they themselves created in their game. On top of that, let's say that I buy the crate for this 3 euros. Of course, I don't really pay a fee, because that fee is pretty much inside of that price that I'm paying, you know? So I'm buying this crate for 3 euros, I open the crate with a 2.30 € key, and I get a skin out of this, and let's say that I get a good skin out of this, you know? Some of the better skills goes to like this M4A1, which is 70 euros, for example. And that means that if I decide to not keep that M4A1 skin, because I don't care for that weapon, that there's another 7 euros that goes to the developer, because guess what? 10% off of that sale, once again, goes to fees. Now, of course, the developer wants you to spend more money once again, so they, of course, wish for you to use that 63 euros that you now once again have on more keys and more crates buying from the marketplace, and hopefully selling your skins again. Pretty much constantly giving 10% of your money away to the developer constantly over again until you get something that you like, and that is the way that the system works. Now, I hear you say, but at a certain point in time, doesn't the crate just become worthless? I mean, I see all of these Counter-Strike crates being worth about 3 cents, like, or maybe 10 cents, or less than that, so that's not worth a lot. They don't make a lot of money off that, do they? And you would be right, so you know what they do? They just release a new crate, and that new crate will once again have a high price, and the cycle continues. It is just the way it works, and you know the beautiful thing for these developers, for new crates? They don't even have to design the weapons themselves, because you guess what? They open the workshop up, they say, players, do you want your skin in the game? And guess what the player says? I can have my skin in the game? I'm gonna submit my design, I'm gonna work hard on cool designs, and I will submit them, and, you know, the only thing that then the developer still has to do is approve those designs. But even with that, they are helped, because the community votes on those designs. They vote them up, they vote them down, and guess what? At the end of the week or the end of the month, the developer goes to the page on the Steam Workshop, and they're like, these ones have been upvoted quite a lot. Let's implement these, which aren't too offensive, because some of these skins are quite edgy, you know, and then they apply those new skins into a new crate, and bam! New money! Virtual money that we've just created from thin air. Because that's the one thing you have to keep in mind while thinking about anything with this. Whenever you get a 70 euro worth skin, it's not 70 euros deducted from the developer. No, it's 70 euros that has just been freshly created out of nowhere. That is the thing you have to keep in mind. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what do you think about the system. I, for one, think that this system is here to stay. That this is going to be a system that a whole lot of games in the future are going to use. And it's pretty much going nowhere. So prepare yourself, pretty much. Prepare yourself. Anyway guys, see you later. Have a good one.